Hello students, good morning. Welcome to the next class of economics. In class 11th, we are doing the chapter consumer equilibrium, and under this chapter we have completed the first approach of measuring the consumer equilibrium, that was your cardinal approach. So for measuring the utility, here in class 11th, we are using in microeconomics two approaches, cardinal and ordinal. Cardinal approach have been completed and we have discussed in detail about how to measure consumer equilibrium in case of one commodity and two commodities. Here in this session, we are going to discuss about the consumer equilibrium and about the ordinal utility analysis. And in this session we will discuss in detail about this approach and how the indifference curve analysis will help us in reaching the consumer equilibrium. So let's start the chapter. So the first is ordinal utility analysis or indifference curve analysis. Here we are going to understand how this approach or analysis will help us to calculate the consumer's equilibrium. So modern demand theory uses an analytical approach called indifference curve analysis to explain how the household makes decision with regard to his her economic choices or and purchases. So the indifference curve approach was originally developed by an Italian economist, Pareto, who was the first economist to draw the indifference curves, and subsequently in the fully developed form by the British economist J.R. Hicks and R.G.D. Allen. So Hicks and Allen developed finally the indifference curve approach, which comes under the ordinal utility analysis, and we are going to study this topic because we are going to understand the consumer equilibrium under this approach. So what this approach is, so indifference curve analysis has abandoned the concept of cardinal utility and has adopted the concept of ordinal utility. So cardinal utility was saying कि we can measure the utility in terms of money, or we were writing it in the unit utils, but it discarded this approach, and it is saying कि we cannot express it in numbers, we can rank it, we can give the order to the utilities derived from the commodities. So cardinal utility means that the utility of a consumer gets from the unit of a commodity can be measured in absolute amount, while the utility derived from a commodity can be measured just as we can measure height, weight, length, and temperature, etc. That was the under your cardinal approach. In other words, utility can be expressed in cardinal numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That was the previous approach. On the other hand, what this approach was advocating, indifference curve analysis, on the other hand, is based on the idea of ordinal utility, and the term ordinal means ranking or ordering, like first, second, or third. It implies that the consumer is capable of simply comparing the utility derived from the different goods or different units of the same good. So the next is what was the outcome finally? In other words, ordinal utility does not require the consumer should be in position to measure the utility in quantitative terms. All that is necessary for a consumer to know is which good for which combination of goods give him the same utility, and which good or combination of good give more or less utility. So here finally consumer have to decide the ranking, the order, which is more or which is less. So I think this is clear. What was the difference in ordinal and cardinal? The next topic that we are going to discuss is indifference curve, meaning and its definition. So what is an indifference curve? an indifferent schedule. First we will see the schedule. What is schedule? Schedule can be the tabular presentation of the data with the help of which we will make the curve. So an indifference schedule refers to a schedule that shows various combination of two goods which give equal amount of satisfaction to the consumer. Since each of these combinations give us the household an equal amount of satisfaction, the household is indifferent among them. So we are again discussing, here we are talking about the combination of goods. It means under this approach, ordinal or indifference curve approach, there are always two goods. Fine. And we are making the combination of those two goods. Here there is a picture given for indifference curve and the combinations are made, and we can understand it in the better way. Like you can see combinations are A, B, C and D. Two goods are there, one is food, one is clothing. So we have option to spend our money on food or clothing. So when we are spending money on food and clothing, so if we are spending some money on food, we are getting one quantity of food and 12 quantity of clothing. But here the important point is कि there is a point 4 is given in the fourth column, marginal rate of substitution. What it means? It means if we want to gain more of food, so we have to sacrifice or substitute. We have to substitute few units of good, that is called clothing. So when we reduce the clothing from 12 to 6, we got one extra. Again when we reduce 6 to 4, we got one extra. And again when we reduce 1 unit of clothing, we again get one extra food. So this tendency is called marginal rate of substitution. And due to that tendency, this curve, this IC curve is going downward. So what this curve is showing actually, so this curve, an indifference curve, shows the various combination of two commodities which gives equal amount of satisfaction to the consumer. So now I am going to explain it again to you, like what we are talking here. Here are the combination A, B, C, D. Okay, I can purchase A, B, C or D, any of the option. Every combination or any combination will give me the equal level of satisfaction. If from level A I am getting the total satisfaction of 10, so similarly at B I'll get the 10, C I'll also get the 10, and at the level D I'll get the 10 level satisfaction. Again I am going to revise the definition of indifference curve. So an indifference curve shows various combination of two goods. There are always two goods, so it is the presentation or it is a curve where are the combination of two goods which gives equal amount of satisfaction to the consumer. Clear hai? So we can again see in this IC curve, IC is here written, IC means indifference curve. There are two goods, food and clothing, and we have different combinations such as A, B, C, D. Here A, B, C, D, and every combination is giving us the same level of satisfaction. That is why the curve is called indifference curve. What is the meaning of indifferent? Indifferent mean which is not different, which is equal at all the levels. So this is a curve on which we get the different combination of two goods, and each combination is giving the equal level of satisfaction. I hope it is clear. The next topic is indifference map or its meaning and definition. So map, what is a map? So when an indifference map is a group or set of indifference curves, each one of which represents a given level of satisfaction. So you can say when there are the indifference curve are in the group or more than one,
Indifference curve is represented in a single diagram, then it is called indifference map. In the given figure, an indifference map consisting of various indifference curves IC1, IC2, IC3 and IC4. Okay, the next important point is here कि higher IC indicates higher level of satisfaction. IC1 is the lowest and it is showing low level of goods combination and lower level of satisfaction, and IC4 at the higher place and it is giving us the higher satisfaction because the combinations which will be present here will be costly. Each indifference curve represents different level of satisfaction. All the points on a particular indifference curve indicate alternative combination of food clothing that give the household equal amount of satisfaction. That means any of the combination the household can purchase, he will get the same level of satisfaction. The further the curve from the origin, the higher the level of satisfaction it represents. It means which is far from this origin, that more far means more satisfaction, or the curve which the higher income gallery can purchase the commodities. So IC4 at the highest level and it is showing the highest satisfaction among all the fours other curves. Now we'll study what are the assumptions behind while we are making this curve. What should we keep in our mind before making this curve? First assumption is rational consumer. According to this theory, a consumer always behaves a rational manner such that a consumer always aims to maximize his total satisfaction or total utility. Two commodities is an essential thing in this curve making. It is assumed that the consumer has fixed amount of money, all of which to be spent only on two goods. It is also assumed that price of both the commodities are constant. Ordinal utility means, according to this theory, utility is a psychological phenomena and thus it is unquantifiable. So however, the theory assumes that a consumer can express utility in terms of rank. In previous approach there was the in terms of money, or we were writing in the numbers the satisfaction, but here we are giving the rank to the utility. And consumer can rank his or preference on the basis of satisfaction yielded from each combination of good. So which is giving him more, which combination, so we can rank it, which combination is giving more satisfaction. Non-satiety means saturation. So an indifference curve theory assumes that the consumer has not reached to the point of satiety means maximum satisfaction. It implies that a consumer still has the willingness to consume more of both the goods. He's not totally satisfied, he wants more, he's not in equilibrium. The consumer always tends to move a higher indifference curve seeking for higher satisfaction. Like every rational consumer wants costly and better quality product with the less amount of money. So that is why the consumer always tends to move to a higher indifference curve seeking for higher satisfaction. So assumptions of indifference curve analysis, my next point is diminishing marginal rate of substitution is also present in this. That is why it is going up to downward, upside to downward. So marginal rate of substitution be defined as the amount of a commodity that a consumer is willing to trade off for another commodity as long as the second commodity provides same level of utility as the first one. So we'll use the second one until where its satisfaction not start declining. And diminishing marginal rate of substitution states that the rate by which a person substitute x for y diminishes more and more with the each successive substitution of x for y good. It means when we will, if we want more of x good, then we have to substitute some units of good y, and we have seen that in the table. For getting more of the food quantity, we were substituting the quantity of cloths or clothing. Next one is very important term and question, that is properties of indifference curve analysis. So properties, what this curve shows, it comes under the property. So here we are going to discuss about the properties. So first is indifference curve slope downward to the right. So that is a very visible one. We can say this is an important and obvious feature of indifference curve, like the sloping downwards indifference curve indicates that when the amount of one commodity is in the combination is increased, the amount of the other commodity is reduced. If we want to more of one commodity, then we have to reduce the quantity of the second commodity. This must be so if the level of satisfaction is to remain constant on the same indifference curve. So the first property we can say is that indifference curve slope downward down to the right side, and reason is given here, third point, why it is going right side downward. The second property is every indifference curve to the right represents higher level of satisfaction. Like IC4 here is showing the maximum satisfaction and IC1 is showing the least. Let's see the reason. Every indifference curve to the right of the preceding curve indicates higher level of satisfaction, and the curve to the left shows lesser satisfaction. It means that the indifference curve at a higher level from the axis shows greater satisfaction than an indifference curve at a lower level. The third property is, which is visible here, that property is indifference curve cannot intersect each other. Very, very important, and it usually comes in examination for 3 to 4 marks. The indifference curve never cut each other, as higher and lower curve shows different level of satisfaction. That is why IC1, IC2, IC3 and IC4 are not intersecting. Reason is at IC1 the people will get or spend 100 rupees. IC2 पे हमें खर्च करने पड़ेंगे, we have to spend 500 rupees. For IC3 product we have to spend 600 rupees, and for IC4 we have to spend 800 rupees. So the 800 rupee product cannot come in the 100 rupee category, 100 rupee curve IC1. So that is why this product cannot be we cannot get on the IC1. That is why IC4, IC1 never intersect. IC2, IC3, like none of the indifference curve will intersect each other, because at each indifference curve the satisfaction level are different and the prices of products are totally different. That is why they never intersect each other. The fourth property is like indifference curve will not touch the axis. Reason is very clear. We know at the very earliest stage at assumption we always use two goods in this case. So that is why they cannot touch x-axis. And another characteristic features of indifference curve is that it will not touch the x or y-axis. This is borne out of our assumption that the consumer is considering different combination of two goods. And if it is touching, that means at that level it is using an only of any one commodity, but it is out of its assumption. So if any curve is touching the x or y axis, that means that curve is not a indifference curve. Your fifth property is indifference curve are convex to the origin. Convex, I think you know this shape is called convex, and why it is convex we are going to discuss about. The very important feature of the indifference curve is that they are convex to the origin and they cannot be concave to the origin. A normal indifference curve will be convex to the origin and it cannot be concave. Only convex curve will lend to the principle of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. So in this case of concave curve, it will lead to increasing marginal rate of substitution, which is impossible. That is why now we know the reason also for this convex to the origin. So the term indifference curve is completed. Now we are proceeding to the next and last topic of your chapter, that is budget line, its meaning and definition. Let's see the definition. A budget line is a straight line that shows slopes downward and consist of all the possible combination of the two goods. Here also two goods are there which a consumer can buy at a given market price by allocating all his her income. It is an entirely different concept from that of an indifference curve, though they are both essential for consumer equilibrium. Like indifference curve and budget line, both are needed when we will study the consumer equilibrium in under indifference curve approach. So this is your budget line, and in this budget line, you can see there are again two goods like dot pens and gel pens are given, and this is downward sloping. It is a property. Two goods are there, but this line is touching x and y axis. This is the difference, and we have here also the different combinations of two goods. The two essential components of a budget line are the purchasing power of a consumer, that means it is also called your income line, we can call it, and the market price of both the commodities. This is important. These are the two essential components of the budget line. Equation of budget line, you can see here equation is given. The concept of budget line is precisely explained through the following equation: px into qx plus py into qy is equal to m. M is the money income of the consumer, the total jitna bhi whatever the consumer's income, so it is going to spend on the product x and product y. Px is the price of good x, qx is the quantity of good x, py is the price of good y, and qy is the quantity of good y. The total, the sum up of both the goods price into quantity is the money income of the consumer. Let's see example. A person has 50 rupees for buying pens. She the following options from allocating his amount such that she derives the maximum utility from limited income. Budget schedule is given. The above budget schedule can be plotted on a graph to obtain the appropriate budget line for this instance. So each time the persons are, as per the budget line is showing, we are spending each time rupees 50 we are spending. Option A, we are not purchasing any of the gel pen, 0 level of gel pen, but 10 quantity of dot pen at the 5 rupee price, and the total expenditure is rupees 50. Similarly, B combination is there where we are purchasing 8 quantity of dot pens and 1 quantity of gel pen. Gel pen cost rupees 10 and total expenditure is 50, and so on. And so this is your budget line. I hope you understood it. Properties and assumptions. So first we'll see the assumptions of the budget line, what we should keep in our mind before making the budget line. So as we know, the economics is mostly based on assumptions, so goes for the budget line to make the result and analysis more clear and easy to understand. The economists assume the following respect of the budget line, and those are two commodities. First, income of the consumer is known, market price is known, and expenditure is equal to the income. These are the assumptions which we'll keep in mind before making the budget line. And you can see here assumption of a budget line are market price is known, two commodities, and income of the consumer is known. Then easily we can make the budget line. So finally, expenditure is equal to the income. We assume that the consumer has spent all her income. I think this is more visible. So these are the assumption we should keep in mind before making the budget line. It is believed that the consumer will spend all her income on purchasing of only two goods. The consumer's income is limited and is known. Even revenue is wholly allocated for the buying of only two commodities, and the market price of both the goods are known to the consumer, and we assume that the consumer spent all her income. So these are the assumptions before making budget line we should keep in mind. So last point is properties of a budget line. Properties means कि what visibly after making the budget line qualities characteristics we are observing. So let's see. Properties of budget line they are negatively sloped, they are straight line, real income line, or they are also budget line is called income line, and tangent to indifference curve. So it has specific characteristics which distinguish it from other economic tools like negative slope. It slopes downward, showing an inverse relation between the buying of the two goods. Straight line, it is a straight line which denotes the constant market rate of exchange at each combination. Real income line, it functions on the principle of income and the spending capacity of a consumer. And tangent to indifference curve, the indifference curve touches the budget line at a point, and this point is called the consumer equilibrium. So I am going to show you the consumer equilibrium over here. So I am making here line an indifference curve, and that indifference curve will show you consumer's equilibrium. So I am making a line over it. I am making an indifference curve. This is your IC. So at the level, the level where this indifference curve IC is touching the budget line, like this point is your equilibrium point. I am highlighting this point. This level where whenever the IC curve and budget line are tangent to each other, that level is called consumer equilibrium in case of IC curve. So I hope it is clear to you all, and this is the end of the chapter, and I'll send you the notes of the chapter. Okay, students. So thank you for the watch, and I'll meet you in the next session and we'll continue with the next chapter. Okay, students, see you. Prepare for your examinations.